There's a bird in the fireplace. Of course there's a bird in the fireplace. Well, now there's just a bird in the house. There was a bird in the fireplace, and then the dogs tried to pack hunt it, and now it's hiding under the couch. Bird. Where is the bird? I think he's hiding in there, but I can't see him, and he's gonna fly at me like a freak. Maybe he's under the couch. Oh, no idea. But there is definitely a finch somewhere in this house. Yeah.
Yeah?
There's a bird.
Yeah?
There's a bird. These birds are supposed to be in the house. Kind of. They're not. We didn't have a birdie hen. Planning. This almost makes up for the fact that there's a bird in the house.
Mommy, where did it go?
I don't know where the bird went. There's a bird in the house. Under the couch. So I'm eating broccoli sprouts. Because that's today. Hey, it is October 10th, I think. I don't know. There is no time. But I wasn't going to do a garden tour because I'm feeling lazy and everybody's been sick. But I just pulled 2 different carrots. This one grew in sandy loam that I planted seeds in summer. This one grew in raised garden box. In the front, in my planter yard compost. Totally different color. But this one I planted in like April? Yeah. We'll see if they taste better, but yeah. Long root. Yeah. Oh. This one, way better. I know these aren't ready yet, but I was like, holy crap. They're growing so much bigger, so much faster. I'm just eating carrots now. That's fine. But yeah, sandy loam with chicken compost that was mixed in versus my soil. Much smaller, much tastier, more flavor. Faster growth, less inhibited. I probably need to mix the 2 of them together, and then I'll have big ones that taste good. It's all an experiment. Good morning, chicks. There you go. The baby is so big. Oh. Butternut squash, which hopefully we will get some squash. Oh, they're so weirdly shaped. These are from the seeds from the squash that rotted on the counter in the house. So, it's free food. Yeah. It's starting to get fall gardeny. I need to harvest these potatoes. And then I just have a bean that got away from me, so I'm letting it go. Cleared this out a couple times. We have some random beets. Transplanted some broccoli starts, and I think a cabbage. I need to come in and do harvests, but we have a little mushroom forest down here, which is kind of cool. But yeah, we've got lots of food. Lots and lots of food. This was my solution to the cabbage moth problem. So, we have spiders in there, but It'll help my rosemary over winter. I've got some kales that I transplanted out of here. Oh, we're getting eaten by something over there. So that's not good. Oh, what is getting you? Huh? Aphids, flea beetles, maybe. Something. It's not the cabbage white, so that's good. But, yeah, we got some salad in here. Some weeds, because always. And some yellow beets. And Chinese broccoli. That's what I put in here. Put the Chinese broccoli in here. Oh, hello. We are a snail family in the chives. Let's get the snail family out of the chives, because that is probably what is eating my Chinese broccoli. But yeah, these chives are very, very old. They're awesome, and they make me happy because they are delicious. And they come back every year, and they have pretty purple flowers. I should probably split this out because the root ball is banana plants. But yeah, but these are just chives from the grocery store that I planted out like 3.5 years ago. And they're just making more food all the time. I think all of my chives, except for one, is like I grew from stuff at the grocery store, not from seed. So I'm gonna just snap this guy off and use him for breakfast later. And this was a kale plant that I transplanted from the bed next to this one. Yeah, it's getting there. But yeah, hopefully these are not spaced well, but hopefully we'll get some stuff and we'll get the weeds out as much as possible. Lots of kale. Lots and lots and lots of kale. Weird little Brussels sprouts. Same over there. My experiment that I planted on July 4th. The kale is good. It's coming back. We have a pumpkin. And then this one is doing way better. It's got one pumpkin there. Little bit of maybe powdery mildew, but it's happy and it's setting more female blossoms, which is silly. We already had a light frost, but it survived it with no cover, so that's good. We'll see. I tore out a bunch of this and started to transition over to fall, and so I just broadcast some bok choy in here and did a couple transplants, put some peas in the back. We'll see, but I need to pull out the rest of these tomatoes. It just has gotten away from me. These kohlrabi are doing better than last time. These broad beans have seen better days, and I should really harvest these, but I have not done it. We've got more female pumpkin blossoms on this guy. We'll see if we get a pumpkin. I don't think we will. If we do, it'll be really young, and I'll use it like a summer squash. Yeah. Transplanted some bok choy in here the other day, and have been harvesting these as they go. Harvested one of these little cabbages for breakfast the other day. And then, yeah, broccoli shoots. My favorite thing in the garden. Broccoli shoots. Teeny tiny little head of broccoli with a bunch of leaves. I just throw them on a roasting pan under the broiler with a little salt and butter and oil. There's like a mix of canola oil and butter here, and so I just squirt that on and throw them under the roaster, and then that's makes like little kale chips attached to your broccoli, and they are awesome and delicious. But yeah, this is just all starting to go back, and then interplanted there's calendula and strawberries and bok choy and the leftovers from summer, including this very silly sunflower that came off of the main stem. But we're still getting chrysanthemums, and we're getting calendula, and the nasturtiums keep coming back. I don't know that I'll ever need to plant nasturtiums ever again, but we will have them forever because they just took over everything. Eventually I will transplant these out and the blueberries will have a new home, but we need to get there first. This tomato has so many tomatoes on it that will never fully mature, but that's okay. And the silly little suckers that I put in here, they're flowering in early October. This one I need to pull out. And then I just transplanted some cabbages and bok choy. And there's some peas that I seeded in the back that are coming up. So we're trying to get things coming. And then these are the beans. If you let them go too long, these beans get kind of ridiculous. So this I was just letting go to save for seed. But there are some, like this guy is not really maturing well, so I'm gonna pluck him off, let the slugs have him. And then this guy, tomorrow, I can harvest him and we can eat him. Oh, but his friend should probably get harvested because I need to come out here with a basket. I just keep forgetting to come out here with a basket. All right, I'm gonna grab some more of these broccoli sprouts for breakfast. And then I will show you what's going on in the greenhouse in the backyard. That seems like a reasonable size breakfast broccoli harvest. Yeah. We got chard and a cabbage in the middle. My tomatoes that I need to clean out. This broccoli that has recovered after being damaged by slugs, a couple beets in the back, and this kale, another cabbage. Oh, this bed is just full of cabbages and salad, and worms, and hopefully not being destroyed. Some cabbages, some kale, and bok choy that got eaten by bugs. Ground elder that is infiltrating the bed that I'm just picking out as much as possible, and beets that I sowed that we did not get a very good germination rate, and I think that's mostly because they're competing with the ground elder, so I keep having to like weed the ground elder out. At some point I will probably dig up this entire bed and lay a better weed suppressant down, and then restructure all of that. That's some razor lettuce that we don't need to go to seed all over the yard, so let's kill that. But yeah, so we'll see. We might get a cabbage out of that plant, or we might not. Same thing with all of this, but that kale is recovering, so we should be able to get some kale there. The greenhouse, full of chaos. Possibly we'll get a cauliflower in here. It's actually forming a central head. It's the only one of my cauliflower that did not die to cabbage root fly. So that's exciting. We got some peas in the back where we used to have tomatoes. Same thing, just some peas here. And eggplants that are still alive. Pumpkins that are coming in. This is a loofah gourd, so we might get loofah. There is one teeny tiny little loofah there, and we've got more females up here, so we'll see. I haven't seen any of the males open. We have a singular melon, which is kind of awesome, and all of these are just in 20-liter, like 5-gallon buckets that I got at the hardware store for $2.20, and filled them up with plantiord. Didn't put a drainage hole. I've just been careful about not overwatering. We've got definitely some powdery mildew issues, but like the plants are still okay. And I will eventually pull all of this out. The bigger issue we have is that snails come in here and try to eat everything. Kind of want to let the chickens loose in here. Yeah, but I've got kales and cabbages and peas and tomatoes still, and it's just a bit of a jungle. This is an artichoke plant that is somehow not dead and hanging out. This is my okra that is just dying, so this plant is not happy, and I need to probably snip it off and get rid of it because it's just having a lot of trouble. It went in too late, so before this guy infects the rest of the greenhouse, I need to get rid of it because that stem is not looking healthy or happy. But we do have random beets that are growing in the bottom that are healthy and happy and getting larger, and I harvested one of these and had it for lunch yesterday. More tomatoes, more basil. I got a little lemon tree This squash is growing crazy, but I don't know that it has any fruit on it. So that's okay. These are my tomatoes that have seen better days. I really just need to clean everything out. And then this is actually setting the center stalk of broccoli. So this one guy in the greenhouse that is enormous is finally setting off a broccoli floret. So we will hopefully get a nice center head of broccoli off of him. So I'm just letting them go as long as possible. Chili peppers and some random beets and more randomness and chaos and tomatoes, and I need to come do a massive harvest and clean out. And yeah, it's just bananas. The eggplant that was outside got over watered in the rain, so I moved him in. This is some kohlrabi my daughter transplanted from there into here, clearly doing much better with more space, and is happier. And yeah, dill, fennel, chaos, always chaos. And maybe we'll get more eggplant. But these tomato plants just want to keep making stuff, and this grape is taking over. So we will finally have like a little grapey corner, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I planted this grape plant 3-4 years ago. And we get grapes, and they're delicious. And normally my kids get them before I can. So, yeah. They have seeds, but they're very, very good. And there's more hidden back there somewhere. Yeah, future grapes. And my one weird little eggplant. This is one weird little eggplant. Alright, I'm gonna go feed the chickens so they stop yelling at me. Very ominous sky. Very ominous sky. But lots of food, lots of changes. I need to harvest everything. I've got beans and Brussels sprouts and the last of the summer squash. And this is easier to see today, I think. So there's some cabbages in here and radishes and beets. There's a theme. And this one has Chinese cabbages and kohlrabi and shallot and a white cabbage and a pepper plant that's just very silly. And then this is where I did my summer planted carrots. And there's just beets and parsnips and beans and peas and carrots and more random volunteer peas. And then just a bunch of weeds and basil. Whole bunch of basil that is not doing very well because there is too many in here and it's competing with a bunch of weeds, and I think it's too cold for it, which makes sense. I made a new strawberry planter, and yeah, it's just chaos. This is dying back. This is Jerusalem artichoke, so I will harvest this probably in another couple weeks. Cabbages and cabbages. This is the side shoots of the center, and I think we actually might need to harvest these guys soon. So this might be dinner because these are looking like they are starting to open up and might try to flower. But we've got a bunch of other little guys in here. So this is just my cabbage that keeps on giving. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. So yeah, we harvested from here the central stalk, which has, of course, a snail on it. Because of course it has a snail on it. Why would it not have a snail on it? Okay, so little snail. Oh, we have so much escargot. But yeah, but we just cut that one main like 2 months ago now, and these are all, it had already started doing these 2 babies, and so I let it stay because of that, and now we have all of these babies. Yeah, so don't pull your cabbage plants if they're happy and healthy and they like where they are, because this guy just loves this bucket and is super happy and is giving us lots and lots and lots and lots of food. But I'm gonna need to harvest this cabbage and this cabbage before they open. And they're not huge, but like, right? Like that's like a softball. It's a good sized cabbage. That's a meal. That's enough food for the two of us, right? Because the kids aren't really going to eat it. So, yeah, that'll probably be dinner tonight. Yeah. It's gonna storm. It is definitely gonna storm. And I was gonna go fishing today. So I'm gonna need to find waterproof gear because I'm gonna go fishing. And maybe to get those rose hips before we get like an actual frost and save them for tea. Because we have like a weird rose bush just growing on the back of the property. So yeah, I might harvest those rose hips and then dry them out for tea. That seems like not a terrible plan. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go inside before it starts raining. But aside from chickens cackling, it is a beautiful, quiet day in the country with a storm rolling in. There are definitely worse places to be.